Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the May 15th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well today. The title of the meditation is Fear of the Fourth Step. Fear of the fourth step. As we approach this step, most of us are afraid that there is a monster inside of us that, if released, will destroy us. That comes from the basic text, page 27. Most of us are terrified to look at ourselves, to probe our insides. We're afraid that if we examine our actions and motives, we'll find a bottomless black pit of selfishness and hatred. But as we take the fourth step, we'll find that those fears are unwarranted. We're human, just like everyone else, no more, no less. We all have personality traits that we're not especially proud of. On a bad day, we may think that our faults are worse than anyone else's. We'll have moments of self-doubt. We'll question our motives. We may even question our very existence. But if we could read the minds of our fellow members, we'd find the same struggles. We're no better or worse than anyone else. We can only change what we acknowledge and understand. Rather than continuing to fear what's buried inside us, we can bring it out into the open. We'll no longer be frightened, and our recovery will flourish in the full light of self-awareness. Just for today, I fear what I don't know. I will expose my fears and allow them to vanish. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Fear of the fourth step. I'm going to tell you, when I saw this title, my mind said, oh, I don't want to read anything to do with fear, not about the fourth step, right? And then so I decided, just get into it, try to read it with your heart. But I have to tell you, I think that it's readings like this or speech like this that causes a lot of people to talk themselves out of doing the fourth step. Yes, I get all that. It's an inventory, our assets, our liabilities. And, in the fifth step, we're sharing that's with someone. Here's the deal. When people start thinking about the fifth step, when they're on the fourth step, that causes them to shut down. Most people are afraid that as they're writing, right, they're going to run into something that is just so heavy, so deep, so bad, right? This bottomless pit, right, of selfishness and hatred. They believe that that's what they're going to find. And maybe sometimes that's what is found. Maybe there's some heinous crime that they've committed, or it's no telling their actions. They've hurt other people, right? It's all that is very possible with addicts, right? We look at the news every day and we see crimes that are being committed, oftentimes by people that are desperate for their next high, right? So we see that, and many of us have been that. And so it is possible that we will find some of those, and it's not even possible, it's a given that we're going to find some things about ourselves that are less attractive than we want them to be. And in many instances, less attractive than we actually have painted them to be. But our projection of the fourth step to the fifth step oftentimes is what causes us to be less honest or just not to do it at all. And it's true, many people relapse that never do it, but many people relapse that do. Here's the deal, we're not going to know how you're going to come through it unless you come through it. Hopefully you have a sponsor that is someone you trust, loving and caring. My first fourth step, I wrote that. And when I did it, and when I actually sat down and covered it with someone, it wasn't even my sponsor. And I wouldn't say it was some random woman. She ended up being my sponsor. But at the time that I covered it with her, she had some recovery that I admired. My sponsor at that point in time, I knew all of my sponsee sisters' business because of that sponsor. And I thought to myself, there's no way in the world I'm sharing all of this with her. Fortunately for me, I actually had someone else as a backup and I was able to do it. Right? A lot of people don't have that. And they're thinking about the same thing that I was thinking about. I'm not telling them all my business. And so this projection into the fifth step, that fear is something that I really want to caution against. And I know because most of us have a character defect called fear, that one of the shortcomings that is birthed out of fear is procrastination. You know, I love recovery because the more I talk about it, the more it makes sense. And the more that I talk about it, the more simple I see that this program is. It's not complicated. Just do the fourth step. Just do the fourth step. I like our version in Narcotics Anonymous of the fourth step because I believe it's more thorough. Right? But there's other versions of the fourth step. Find out what your sponsor wants you to do and just do it. Because even though those areas of darkness are there, there's going to be areas of light that you're also going to see. And maybe for the first time. This is your moment, right? This is your moment to offload all of that dead weight that you've been carrying for years. It can be as short or as long as you want it to be, but I suggest that you just get started and be honest, be thorough, and do it. There's nothing to fear except for fear itself. And that's because it can drag us into a mire of disguise, lying, cheating, misrepresentation, procrastination. It's not our friend. Fear is not our friend. And I don't want you to have fear of the fourth step. I want you to embrace it. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.